1 2. It's working. 1 2 1 2. Yeah, it seems fine.
I'll try not to sniff as
Yeah.
much. I'll just say for anyone watching on video, I might have to sniff that occasionally.
Yeah, we can do some crazy edits.
Which is basically Albasoil.
The podcast studio, aka my office, stinks of Albasoil.
Does it?
Yeah.
Okay.
As soon as you come up the stairs, you're like, what?
I was thinking I might need some more on that.
I've got house rabbits and they're like on their back at the moment. They're Albasoiled out. Yeah, you struggled this week.
Yeah, well, I don't know where it came from. Whether it's from James, because he was ill in the last podcast.
He was ill when we met up and he gave us a warning.
But I've certainly not been kissing him. So
he was definitely struggling last week. He's no longer here this week. It's now down to 2 of us. So
yeah,
you've got to talk. You've definitely got to talk more this week.
Yeah, fair comment. I'll up the ante from my one-liners.
Yeah, you'll get involved, but you have been struggling. Are you getting over the back of it?
To be honest, I thought I was.
Yeah.
I'd say, I would say last night, waking up with a fever, I'd say I've kind of hit the epicenter of it now.
Epicenter.
Whatever you want to call
It's
it.
a big word. It's a big word for describing a cold.
The peak.
Peak of the cold.
So I reckon it's all good. It's going to be all good from here.
And I'm sure that you've taken some time off because you've been ill.
No.
Have you rested up?
No. Do you know what? I was actually going to, if we weren't doing this podcast today, I would not have come here.
Oh, really?
I was thinking that. Yeah, I was thinking actually I could just do with. I would have worked, but I could have done with.
Yeah, okay. Inverted commas.
Yeah. So yeah, the fact we've done this podcast is the only reason I'm here, basically. So
fair. So
hope the listeners appreciate that.
Week 2, when we're almost. Curtains.
Well, yeah. Well, the thing is, if James, I should call him. If James was here, and you two were both around to do it, I would have obviously said
you'd have bailed on us.
I'd have bailed. But if I'd have bailed, I don't know how good a podcast would have just been with you chatting.
Chatting to myself. Would have smelt less like Albasoil, but I would have been chatting to myself. That would have been typical us though as well. Do a podcast, episode 1, we're all here.
Yeah.
Episode 2, no one. Just me.
Actually, Lucy this morning said you shouldn't go.
Oh, really?
And I said that's not the attitude. I was like, we can't do one episode and then fail on the second.
Man down.
So,
well, I appreciate the commitment.
Oh, that's me, mate.
Carrying the boats
for sure.
How did you find episode 1?
Well, I felt like I got stitched up a little bit at the start of it.
Oh yeah, okay.
But yeah, as a podcast debut, watching it back.
Podcast debut?
Yeah.
Pleased with your performance?
Yeah, it was okay. As with all of these things, putting a mic in front of your face for the first time is a bit weird, but I thought it was all right. We'll see what the listeners thought.
Yeah. I thought you and Sam... I hate listening to myself back. Like, I genuinely hate it.
Right.
Because you'll probably look at me and be like, oh, you love yourself. And I think I'm the best thing since sliced bread. But I listen... When I do the edits back and I'm listening to it, I actually find it really hard to listen to
well,
myself.
I'll tell you what, one thing that the listeners would have gauged is I think both of our laughs are pretty...
well, again, my laugh annoys me.
Noticeable.
Yeah. My laugh annoys me, but I've had a few people that have listened to it have been like, your laugh's infectious. And I'm like, infectious in a good way or bad way?
Oh, no, I agree.
Yeah,
I sometimes will just laugh at you laughing.
Right. Because I used to hate, well, that's just kind of, has that grown into my laugh? But I used to hate.
That's like me and my ears. Still haven't grown into it.
No, yeah. Still not grown into your ears yet. But for me, I used to hate it at school. I used to hate my laugh, and then because it's just like sometimes when you get one of those uncontrollable ones, and I'm just like squawking, I used to hate it, and then I've like kind of grown into it, I think, over time. But listening back to it on the edit, I'm just like, I actually thought you and James came across really well.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, one thing that
really
taken away from it is, I think throughout that podcast you mentioned that you got to think about the listeners.
Yeah, for sure.
Because it's quite easy to get carried away with you being videoed.
Yeah.
And I'm sat there going.
Nodding, yeah.
So even then, you're saying nodding, and I was nodding, by the way.
So someone that's listened to it said that to me. They were like, "You're the only one that's aware people can't see you."
Yeah,
I think it was when you talk about the muffs, and I'm like, "Oh, for people that are listening, you can't see. you're like, because we look like a bunch of clowns and people don't get it. But that's
Yeah.
like anything, that will come. I actually thought, like I say, I thought you guys were really good. And I've had a couple of comments on James as well. People being like, thinking, actually, he's going to be really shy. But felt on the podcast, he was like...
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. I've had a few comments on him. No one said anything nice about me yet. I'm still waiting. So message me if you do. Like the sound of my voice, please. But
The waffle.
yeah, but him and also, yeah, you. Voice for radio.
Oh, really?
Voice and face for radio.
This week, prepare yourself. I've got a cold, so...
Yeah. This is like, it's going to be like late night with Shelfie.
It's going to be, story time with Andy. Shelfie.
Sorry. Yeah, you've got your, is it like your sexy voice, your late night radio show?
Yeah, I was going to say that, but I thought...
What, sexy voice?
Yeah.
Okay, fair.
What they say in it.
But yeah, I thought that was good. Jingle's gone out. Jingle's gone out to the world.
Yeah, and I'd say it's gone down well. I'd say that the jingle has been a success.
Would you? I think so.
I reckon. Have you had any bad comments on it?
Not yet, actually.
It's unbelievably catchy.
Do you think?
I reckon. I've been singing it. I don't know the lyrics, but I've been singing it.
That's why you've been up. I thought you weren't sleeping because you're cold. When you've been saying I've not been sleeping, I thought that was the reason.
Oh dear.
Not the jingle. But what were we saying then? Jingle. Yeah, no, I haven't had any bad comments on it. My fear is that it will wear thin on people. Could be wrong.
Yeah.
Samwise already hates it. James already hates it.
Yeah. How many times are we going to do that?
What, Samwise James?
Samwise James.
Yeah,
for anyone that's listening, we call James Samwise because we think he looks like Samwise Gamgee from Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
So, yeah, obviously have a look at his profile and see what you think. But I like
if you think he looks like Samwise, message him saying Samwise.
Yeah.
But that started. Do you know what? I started because I said, because we're both short, me and James.
Yep.
I actually started that as like, because we're setting off on a little journey together. I said, I'm Frodo and he's Samwise. It came.
Oh, right.
I did think he looked like Samwise, but I also thought it was very funny that we're both two little people that are setting off on a little adventure, little adventure together. So I said he's Samwise.
I never knew that.
Did you not? No, that's where my brain went when I first came up with that nickname.
Right.
I was like,
did you think he looks like Samwise Gamgee?
Yeah, no, I thought
made that
out of the two of us, I thought it was clear who looked more Samwise and who looked more Frodo, right? And at the time, I had my shoulder length hair as well, so it was like,
right, okay,
yeah. So I actually thought he looked more Samwise. So I was like, oh, Samwise.
Nice.
And then that's just stuck.
Do I get involved in that? Can I be like Pippin
Gollum.
or Mary or something? Gollum, fantastic. That is not where my brain was going, but I appreciate that. Gollum.
Where was your brain go? Surely you were just
I was going Pippin or Mary.
Mary?
Mary. Mary.
You're getting Lord of the Rings and Mary and Joseph.
I'm a massive fan of Lord of the Rings as well, so that's shocking from me.
Yeah.
Oh, well, I'm Gollum now.
Yeah, Gollum. Oh, sorry, I thought that's where you were going. I thought that was the obvious.
Yeah. Well, if you go to the latter films, then yeah.
Yeah. Well, I can't. Do you know what? I don't have the attention span for Lord of the Rings.
No.
I really don't. I have seen them all, but I could.
What Lord of the Rings or Harry Potter?
Neither.
Right.
I wouldn't say I'd get excited. That's a short.
Let's move on
then. If you ask me to pick,
surely it's Harry Potter for you.
Yeah, just because it's easier.
Yeah, it's like Christmas vibes, isn't it?
Yeah. Is it Christmas vibe? People go mad for it over
yeah,
Christmas
I think it's
time.
because they always start playing them over Christmas.
Right.
I don't know. I'd say it's Christmas vibe. Lucy says it's Christmas vibe, so.
Yeah, I reckon that Lucy says a lot of things are Christmas vibes.
She's very Christmas.
Yeah, I can see.
Yeah, on a scale of 1 to Christmas, she's Christmas.
I think she came from the North Pole. Santa dropped her.
Pale.
Santa dropped her down the chimney when her parents they just had a little baby under the Christmas tree one morning when they woke up. That's where she come from. But yeah, no, I can see her being very Christmas. She'll enjoy the Christmas markets when we do that. We're doing that next month.
Oh, in December. Yeah, well, obviously December. When else should you do Christmas markets?
Feb.
Oh, nice.
They do the outlets. You get all last year. You get all that. Do you know what? That would probably go down.
Well, she'd be involved.
Yeah, she would 100. If you did Christmas markets, new business idea, Christmas markets, February outlet, all the old Christmas to flog it to people for next year's Christmas. My mum would turn up. My mum would go to something like that for sure.
Yeah, I'm not sure it's my thing.
There's a market there. You can stay at home, watch Lord of the Rings.
Yeah. That suits me.
Yeah. But this the other thing I found interesting today is obviously we're working together.
Yep.
And when you came this morning, I was like, I've got to be conscious not to talk to you.
Oh, you said that?
No, in my head. Not to you.
Right.
In my head, I was like...
I wondered why you not said anything.
Yeah. Just let you in.
Morning, by the way.
Just let you in and stared at you. Like,
you didn't even let me in.
Did I not? Oh, no, you let yourself in. You shit me up, to be fair. I thought, oh, you must be coming. And then, yeah, maybe jump.
Right.
Because I looked out the window and I could see the car. But I was like, he wouldn't have parked there because that's a really weird place to park. He would park right in front of the house rather than down the road. But no, park down the road. So... but yeah, I've been conscious because I've like where I want this podcast to be just a little bit catch-uppy.
Yep.
If we do all our catch-uppy,
we'll get on here and be like, now what?
We'll be like you last week. And it'll be like a lot of silence.
Yeah, just one-liners.
Just one-liners. Yeah. So I was very conscious of that. But to go back to the last week, I thought it was really good. And hopefully we can get together as much as possible as a free.
Yeah, it would be good. I think it's a good dynamic with three of us. When we do get together.
And do you know what I like? Is like Samwise brings. I like the story that he told last week about his daughter's birthday cake, and there's stuff like that he will bring that we can't.
Oh yeah, we're way off that.
Yeah, just a little bit. So I think it will be a really good dynamic, and from a product perspective, he's going to bring a different vibe as well. But yeah, have you had any exciting things happen to you this week?
No, to be honest, being ill, I've not done much at all.
Right. This is going to be a short catch-uppy then.
Yeah, so we can quickly... I don't really know what I've done. I had a good weekend, but...
Watched the rugby.
Out and about.
Oh, did you? You went out, so you...
I was hosting. Yeah, well, I knew it was coming, but it hit me probably Sunday.
Classic.
Ready for work.
Classic,
yeah. Went to bed Sunday night and was like, oh, actually. And then realised I can't call in sick anyway, because...
Lining one up.
Yeah.
Lining one up for Monday.
Yeah, I'll reverse the question at you. Anything exciting your way?
Do you know what, mate? What did I do last weekend? Last weekend was fairly quiet, I'm going to say. I'm scratching my brain now. I need to remember it. The only thing I have done this week is I ran the gauntlet with my car.
Right.
So I've run the gauntlet. Then this is going to show you how boring my life is at the moment because the most exciting
Where's
thing
this going?
Happened. So it started to snow, hasn't it? It's been cold.
Oh, of course it has, yeah.
Yeah. And did the ice bath this morning, by the way. 7 degrees.
7. Is that the lowest you've had it?
The lowest I've seen it so far. No ice needed. Just cold out there. I was red. I was red when I come out.
God, that is cold.
I look like a prawn.
Well, they say with the ice baths, what's the good temperature? Like
between 10 to 15 degrees.
10 to 15 degrees.
We are lower.
So you went 7. What do you reckon the lowest you're going to be doing over winter is?
I'll keep you posted.
5? Will it go?
I've always wondered whether I should because you see people post it on LinkedIn, but then I'm like, am I just going to get because I actually enjoyed doing it, and people are going to be like, you're an attention seeker. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, and you're kind of following the craze and so.
I've been supporting Wim Hof for the last 4 years religiously.
Yeah,
I'm in deep with him. He's my hero, but I like the cold water, and you sometimes see people put it on LinkedIn. It's like, my morning routine, and which I am one of those losers. But
yeah. Just don't shout about it.
I don't, no.
Until
I've just spoken about it on a podcast.
Yeah.
So that is obviously shouting about
Well, if you get loads of comments after this saying, it'd be good to see you in your trunks, then you can start doing it. But either there's the laugh.
The thought of someone on LinkedIn messaging me saying they want to see me in my trunks.
There you are, some Giig branded trunks.
Oh dear, yeah, can do.
bright orange.
Yeah, can do.
Yeah, no, I don't think that's a good idea. I don't really want to see that.
What?
You in your trunks.
Oh right, okay. I didn't know if you meant the Giig branded trunks. You've seen me in my trunks.
No, well, sorry. In my head, I'm thinking like
on social
Speedos.
Media. Ah,
yeah,
right.
Yeah, that's
sorry. No, I don't have Speedos. I've got like normal swim shorts, but the neighbours must look at me sometimes and think mental. When I'm wandering outside in my towel, I've got my towel around my head. The other day it was
towel on your head.
Yeah, no, around my neck, not my head. Not on my head. Sorry.
Yeah.
Like I have it around my neck, and I got my trunks on, and I got my little sliders. I go out to the garage, pop the lid, get in. And the other morning, it was like I was in it while it was snowing outside, and it was actually really nice. It was about 10 degrees. I was just like, oh, mate, there was something crisp and nice about it. It was just really like, really enjoyed it.
I think, I think if you work your way to, what was it, minus 7? No, sorry, not minus 7 degrees.
7 degrees at the moment.
I think if I jumped in that, I think I'd know.
You'd know about it.
Oh God,
you've done well when you've been in it before. Do you know who surprised me when they got in it? My brother. My brother.
Really?
Yeah. He really surprised me because he said he'd never do it in a million years. And then,
sorry,
that's right. If we need to stop for nose
clearing, sorry,
nose MOT, we can. But yeah, my brother's never been interested. And then so he said he'd never do it, and then he basically started potential relations with a female who, I don't know why I went with the word female.
Well, that really surprises me.
And she was like, oh, ice baths are really good. And then all of a sudden he was like, oh yeah, fancy a bit of the ice bath.
Oh yeah, I do an ice bath all the time.
Yeah, so he was straight in. But initially it took him a few minutes to get down.
Like shoulders, that one.
His nether regions hit the water and he bounced back up.
Oh, he knew about it.
You would not believe. He was like a jack in a box. He just his nads touched the water. He shot back up and I was like, that's curtains. That's over. That's game over. But he composed himself and he was good after that. And then he got in. So yeah, I'm obviously still doing my ice baths. I said I was going to tell you about the car, right? And we've gone.
Oh yeah, we've gone
around. Yeah. So you have to remember, that's like Donald Trump. He does that. What does he call it, though? Have you seen him?
No, I don't know.
Oh, Donald Trump's got a word for it. He calls it like, fuck.
But I think that's just, us in general. I think
Donald Trump?
No, God, no.
Like
just going off on a tangent.
Right. Okay. Yeah, well, that's
we'll plan a meeting, and then towards the end of the time allocated for that meeting, we go, oh, we need to actually talk around what we need to talk about because we just got sidetracked
the whole
on relevant stuff if it's gig related, but
relevance debatable.
Yeah, it's something loosely involved with what the meeting should be normally.
It's exactly what we did last week on a podcast. The podcast was to plan the podcast, and then we got right to 50 minutes at the end, and I went blah 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 blah, and that was it, and that was the podcast plan.
Go on. So your car?
No, I was going to do something else before that.
Oh right, we're still going on the tangent.
Yeah, we were on a tangent, but that's what I was going to say. With planning the podcast, someone did comment on that as well. That like we were just talking about planning the podcast on the podcast. They were like, "You should probably plan before you get onto the podcast." And I'm like, "Yeah, we did say that was."
Yeah, well, but part of that was, that was like my first podcast, and it's kind of a bit of a learning curve.
Yeah,
because some like this is natural to a lot of people, I'd say.
What, sitting and chatting?
Sitting on a podcast on a
yeah, but is
camera.
Is it a podcast? Does it feel like a podcast?
No,
yeah,
no.
I mean.
But that's probably what we want it to be. We don't want it to be. I think even in that podcast we said that we don't want to be. What was it? James kind of slagged off every other.
Yeah. I think it is about like the way. Oh, do you know what? I was thinking about this morning, weirdly, and I was thinking it's almost you want to be the person you would be in the pub. If that makes sense. That's kind of...
And the clip you put on LinkedIn today of me sitting on the different seats, is that me in the pub?
Yeah, I would say so. Andy, which table should we sit at?
Yeah, after 7 pints, maybe.
Just watching him dot around the Weatherspoons trying to pick out...
Yeah, it wasn't my finest... It wasn't my finest moment. Just to add on that, I didn't know you were filming, and also you'd laid 3 mics out, and I just assumed I just got in, I just arrived, coming with my coffee, and you went...
Straight in the deep end.
So... Just to give myself a little bit of credit.
Yeah, no, that was fine. So, for people that haven't seen the video, basically, excuse me, I'd have to edit that out. I set up the microphones on the sofa that we sit on, and said to Andy where we're going to sit, and he was like awkwardly plonking himself around trying to figure it out,
and looked really confused.
You did look very confused. Actually, do you know what? The more I watch it back, the more sorry I feel for you because you're just so confused. You just don't know where you are. But yeah, that was. That was a little bit of a setup, I suppose. But to talk about my car, so yeah, around the gauntlet this week, it's obviously got colder, started snowing. And I've had a warning. I've done that classic thing of like, there's an issue coming.
Yeah, where's this going?
I know there's an issue coming.
Right.
But I'm going to leave it till the last minute.
Go on, what's the issue?
So the issue is that the car battery, the car key that opens, so my key that opens the car is battery powered.
running out of battery.
And it's running out of battery. So I keep getting a message to say that your key is low battery. And
your key isn't one you put in the car, is it?
No, it's not one.
So it needs to have the battery to be in the vicinity of... Vicinity? What's the word?
I fucking don't know where you're going.
No, it's no.
Vicinity.
Vicinity. Oh my God. Sometimes my brain. Yeah. Of the car.
It needs to be within the vicinity of the car. And I was going to the gym the other morning and it was really struggling to open the car. I was like, I'm not going to get to the gym. It's not opening. Right. And then it did it. It went doo-doo.
At the gym. So you
No. I'm at home.
Right.
So I'm not at the gym yet. I'm outside the house before I go to the gym and I'm testing it and I'm pushing it and I'm pushing it and pushing it. I'm like, oh, this is buggered. So I go upstairs to get the spare key.
Yeah.
I come back down. That one's also not working.
Right.
So I'm like, what do I do? And then all of a sudden the wing mirrors come out and it flashes and it's like, doo-doo.
So you risk it?
I risked it.
Right. What was the verdict? Did you get stuck at the gym?
No.
Oh, right.
It nearly though.
That would have been true Luke fashion.
I came out of it and the key weren't having it.
Yeah.
I was like, come on, just open this once. And eventually it did, but it was almost. And then I came back and I said to Sarah, I'm in trouble here. And she was like, why don't you sort it out? And I'm like, because it's going to be expensive. And then within
the key battery.
Yeah.
You just take it on.
I didn't realise that.
It's going to cost me hundreds of pounds.
It cost me a £5, but
I'm going to have to take it into the garage. They're going to have to work on the key for a few hours.
That's exactly what I thought. So I was like, I can't take it into the garage. It's going to cost so much money to get a new kit. I'm like, they're going to charge
and time, me.
money. Basically, Amazon, £5. Sarah changed the battery, so I'm good.
I need to do the same, to be honest.
I'm back in the mixer now. So yeah, that was one thing that happened to me.
That story would have been a lot funnier if you actually got stuck at the gym.
Yeah, do you know what? I'd have been really annoyed with myself.
Right.
If I did get stuck at the gym.
Yeah. 100%. It'd have been funny though.
Yeah, it would have been funny. But yeah, there was something else that happened to me this week, and I can't remember what it was. But I was like, there's two things. One of them was the key, and then I can't remember what the other one was. That's my phone. I'll just drop that onto.
So I'll do a big sniff then.
Silent.
There was something else you were saying.
Yeah, I haven't got it. I've got nothing else for you. Might be going to go see Wicked. I'm getting dragged around to see that.
Oh, are you?
Yeah.
With Sarah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, nice. Yeah, I'm actually a massive fan of Wicked.
Oh yeah.
At the theatre, so I will go see that.
It's got good vibes on Rotten Tomatoes.
What day is it? Lucy. I think Lucy might have been seeing it tonight.
I think it comes out
or Sunday.
It comes out. I think it's out tomorrow. I know it's definitely out. I definitely know it's in cinemas tomorrow. Whether it comes out tonight or tomorrow, I don't know.
Right. Okay. Yeah, I think she's seeing it. Well, she's going to cinema twice, tonight and Sunday. So, but it wouldn't surprise me if it's both. If it is out, honestly.
So she's a fan as well.
Oh yeah.
See if you can get her to go a third time.
Right. Okay. She probably would. Yeah, it's a challenge.
When you say she's a big fan of Wicked, did you say that or have I made that up?
What? Sorry?
Did I say she's a big fan of Wicked? Did you say she's
I said, yeah, she's a big fan of that.
What makes you say that?
She was raving over it coming out,
right,
you know. So, and she likes the song Defying Gravity.
That is the best one.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I can do a good rendition of that.
You?
Yeah. I'm not going to do it now.
I was going to say, take the floor. Behind the scenes. Yeah, no, that's potentially on the agenda. It's Rotten Tomatoes is thumbs up, massive thumbs up for it. Yeah, Rotten Tomatoes is giving.
Well, there you go.
Giving it large ones.
Is that booked in for you, or you? Is on the cards?
She's trying.
Right. Okay.
She's having a go.
Have you seen it in the theatre?
I have.
We're going. We're going. We're going. Very...
Oh, this is the most informative recruitment podcast you're going to listen to.
Yeah,
for sure. Has anyone seen Wicked?
We'll do a review on Wicked. No, maybe not.
Well, ask me next week.
All right. Okay. You'll get on here and be like, it's Wicked. I know it. I've killed that joke for you already. That's the classic.
No, Gollum swooped in and taken it.
Yeah. Well, should we kind of touch on what we were going to do for this podcast?
Yeah. Or... If you have any idea on what we're going to do, there's two work related things I can talk about, but I don't know if we're going to talk about work
because I think we were toying at doing the processes and the tick boxes you need to do to start an agency or start being an independent recruiter, solo recruiter, or whatever you call it. But there's probably a whole chunk we can do on that.
Yeah.
And so maybe we tackle that in the next podcast.
Do you know what, that you could break that down? We've done a blog, haven't we? The 15 steps to starting a recruitment.
Yeah, that probably agency. Needs a little bit of updating, but
you could break that down into 3 episodes, I reckon. Not that we should, because people might be bored. But
yeah, and again, there's
lots in there to chat about.
It's just to make people aware who, if they're looking to make that jump, really, or if people have just started up and they might have missed something.
Yeah. Well, I had a guy that helped me massively. You know, Brad.
Yes,
he was really good for me when he's not from recruitment, right? But when I was starting Giig, I kind of tapped him on the shoulder and was like, "Hey, mate, I'm looking at building a business similar to what you're doing, and can you help me?" And he was really good. He was like, "Look, if I had my time again, this is what I'd do, and these are like the first 10 things that I'd sort out." So like we could potentially do something like that for people.
Yeah, and we're also always happy to help if people are like you've gone to Brad.
Yeah.
If people are looking at doing it and have questions, like by all means, jump out, what? Jump out, make it, like ask us, because I think, stuff like that is great. Especially with, like, if you are an independent recruiter, there's quite a lot of networks out there.
There's loads of networks out there.
We can plug a couple.
We have. We're close to forming relationships with a couple.
Yeah.
Which will be good. I think that really help us. But the one thing that I thought maybe you could talk about, and you can veto this subject if you don't want to talk about this on the podcast.
Where's this going?
The McFlurry.
The McFlurry. Okay. So what you're doing with the McFlurry is you're trying to make this public, so it locks me into
absolutely
what means if the McFlurry
transpires.
Yeah, well,
100%.
Why not? Let's go for it.
So, to give you to fill you in on the story, we're obviously setting a subscription service where people sign up, and in the early days when we first started, we were obviously getting super excited. Well, we still do, to be honest, get super excited.
Oh, you got to.
Yeah.
Celebrate the small wins.
You celebrate the small wins. So every time they were coming in, we were celebrating. And we got to the point where we were getting like back-to-back weeks, right? Where people were coming in, they were signing every single day, people were signing up, they're paying for the product. And like we were close to hitting a full week where we had 7 days back-to-back. And Andy was like, "Oh, we're getting a flurry of subscribers come in." And he was like, "Right, if we hit 7 days and we hit a 7-day flurry, I'm going to McDonald's to get a McFlurry."
Specifically the Biscoff one.
The Biscoff one was out at the time.
I'm not a massive McDonald's fan, but I love Biscoff.
Why do you need to get that in there?
I don't know. I don't know. Sorry.
Keeping up appearances.
Oh, yeah.
Likes Lord of the Rings, dislikes McDonald's. Likes Wicked. They're the 3 things.
There you are. You're learning a lot about me.
Andy in a nutshell. So we hit the flurry, the McFlurry. We went to McDonald's. We bought Biscoff McFlurries. And we're at the point now where we're getting over 30 new paying subscribers a month. We're getting hundreds of recruiters that are signing up for our free product. But we're yet to hit a month where every single day we get a back-to-back subscriber. So there's at least one day of the month that we miss. So every single time a new calendar month rolls around and it comes to the first, we're like, right. And what Andy has said is that if we hit 30 days or every single day back-to-back, which we're now calling the McRunny, he will deliver McFlurries to me and James, who live 130 miles. Oh no, 130 miles.
Well,
no, 70 miles apart.
No, it's 70 miles apart. Yeah,
so it's about 140 mile round trip.
Yeah,
That's
something
where I'm
like
getting
that.
Figure from.
Yeah.
So if we hit subscribers to the product every single day of the month, Andy's going to hand deliver.
Yeah, and then I was talking about actually sighting it because it's more environmentally friendly.
Oh,
and it's more challenging. Which I think is probably a good idea.
So you're going to cycle
140 miles
with two McFlurries.
Well, no, I'd probably go to your local McDonald's to get the McFlurry, then deliver it to you. I'm not going to cycle for 6-7 hours to James, with runny. Well, that's what you're calling the McRunny, wasn't it?
The McRunny, yeah,
because they would have melted.
The original one was the McFlurry,
Yeah.
And then this one is the McRunny, because Andy's going to do a run around with them. It's a double-ended, this joke, because Andy's going to do a run around with he's going to do a run around with 2 McFlurries, and by the time they get to us, they'll be runny. So it's the McRunny. The
McRunny. Which, well, you can happily hold it to me.
Happily hold it to you.
Here
you go, mate.
Hold it against me.
No, hold me to it.
Hold me to it. Oh, for God's sake.
I know what you're trying to say.
Yeah, this is what it's like working with me. I come out with some weird phrases.
We genuinely do struggle at times.
What, me explaining something to you?
Yeah. We do struggle, as communication can be difficult.
The best is when I what do you call them? Like the phrases. Like a fly on the wall.
Oh, I don't know what you call it.
I don't know what you call that. But it's sometimes I'll just make one up by accident.
Andy gets muddled up. He'll be like putting grass on your plate is an example that you're
putting grass on your plate. No, I normally mix 2. It's like it's only a.
Well, that is grass is always greener, and putting food on a plate. Putting grass,
right.
That is mixing 2. I wasn't just randomly going.
Yeah. Okay.
But yeah, you do that. Do you know what the best one was? Oh, the best one, 100% the best one. So. You muddled up throwing the cat amongst the pigeons and ruffling feathers. So you went, I've just sent an email that might ruffle some pigeons.
Did I?
Yeah. That rustling the pigeons or something.
Oh, dear. But you knew what I meant. So.
I did know what you meant. And just to circle it back round, that is your commitment. If we hit a new paying subscriber,
hopefully
every single calendar.
Hopefully that doesn't happen during the winter, because that'll be quite.
So if you're listening and you're kind of thinking about subscribing to Giig December, text me, let me know. Message me, and I'll let you know what the quiet days are. I'll just pop them in. So do you think if it happens? So say it rolls around and it's like 31st of December, right? It's New Year's Eve, and it comes in. Are you getting on your bike?
I'd probably jump into the server. I can't even access the server, but I'd probably do something and sabotage Giig for the day, just so it doesn't. I don't know.
You've got no access to any of the controls. You'd have to get James on side to make that happen, and
which he wouldn't be.
He's the front runner for.
I reckon that's all part of the fun, isn't it? I'd do it.
What, New Year's Eve?
Yeah, I just have to do it. I just have to start early.
I hope it comes in December. Do you know where you're lucky? We're going to have nowhere near enough listeners at this point in time to influence.
Well, you need 30 at least
that aren't already subscribed.
Correct.
Yeah.
So
and aren't our parents.
What, they just jump in and subscribe at the end of the month just to make?
No, I mean they're not going to subscribe. Is what I meant.
Right, as in listeners.
Yeah,
right.
Listeners, yeah.
Oh, my parents won't listen to this.
Do you not think?
No, they will. I'll force it on them.
I was going to say at least a couple will. So the McRunny.
Yeah, so that's the McRunny.
McRunny's a real thing.
We went a bit sideways then.
The other thing that if you want to talk about, we've done an update this week to the product. Do you know any of the new features that we've pushed this week to the product?
Remind me.
I can see the cogs turning in your head.
What are the new features?
So
I know I know what the next push is.
They're not very exciting. They're like the features that we've pushed this week are going to be things that are going to make a big difference to people, but they're not sexy.
Right.
So they're like little.
They're important.
They're important. They're little fixes to the workflow, and to be honest, a lot of people will listen to these and be like, "Can't believe you didn't have them." Like,
right, okay.
Do you know what I mean? They're kind of things that people just come to a system and expect it to have, but obviously people don't realise that actually every single little feature, even the basics, has to be built out.
Yeah.
So we added stuff like mass delete candidates.
Oh, of course.
It's a massive one that people ask for. So before you come into the system and it was like, I want to delete it, like people maybe are testing, because we have a free forever version, people are testing it out, they chuck 10, 15 fake candidates in, they're like, I want to delete these. And you can't. You have to go through them one by one. Until now, you can mass delete candidates, you can mass delete contacts, the ability to close down a job with a single click. So the other thing that's
mental, isn't it? Yeah, because it would have, if you had candidates in process attached to that job, it wouldn't.
Correct.
So yeah, that is massive.
So to close down a job before, you would have to go through to that job, reject every single candidate one by one, and then when all the candidates are rejected, you come back and you then close the job.
Yeah.
Whereas now, you close the job, it auto
jobs are good.
Jobs are good. And the other thing that ties in with that quite nicely is if you confirm a hire.
Yeah.
So say you're on a job and you're like, oh, this hire is confirmed. it pops up and says, do you want us to close down the job and reject everyone else?
Yeah, nice.
So you can confirm a hire.
Or leave it if it's a multiple hire.
Or you can leave it if you want to. But yeah, you can close it down and then reject all the other candidates with an email simultaneously. The ability to change interview dates was another one.
Yeah, I know.
Mad we didn't have it, but you can now drag candidates back an interview stage, which you couldn't do before. So before, if you wanted to move a candidate back, you'd have to reject the candidate, resend the candidate, and move them to the stage. Whereas now you can move them back. You can also change the dates as well. So that's doable. What was the other thing? Refactoring the databases, which again is super not sexy. But we've got agencies now that have got like 50,000 records on their database for contacts and candidates. So it's quite a process heavy activity to load the database. So to get all those, pull all those records up, it's process heavy. And we've basically refactored it so it's quick as biscuits now.
Quick as biscuits? Biscuits quick?
Depends how fast you're throwing.
And which biscuit?
What would you say is the quickest biscuit that you... If you was to throw a biscuit, what would you go for?
I reckon either a jammy dodger.
Jammy dodger?
Or like a custard cream.
I can see the jammy dodger for the jam.
Bit weightier with the jam.
I think like
and it's disc shape. Ginger nut.
Are they ginger nuts or ginger biscuits? You know, the real dense ones.
Okay.
If you had a ginger biscuit, I reckon if you...
Well, you're skimming it now.
Yeah, well, the hand action that I'm doing would suggest I'm about to skim it.
Yeah, which is big. I actually had someone on the. I was chatting to someone who requested. What was the first feature you just said?
The ability to mass delete candidates.
Mass delete, yeah. On the day was like, I want to delete all these candidates. I was like, actually, there you are.
We can.
Job's a good one.
Surprise, yeah.
Yeah, and the one of the questions that I'm getting a lot at the moment is around temp workflow.
Okay.
Interestingly.
Yeah.
Which is
what kind of questions you getting? Anything common popping up?
Just that they obviously our system at the moment is geared up to permanent recruitment.
Yep.
And I'm getting a lot of queries saying they do a lot of temp contract stuff. Is there a way we can gear the system up aimed at that a bit more in terms of the process, invoicing times? Like, I think at the moment we don't have the ability to have an hourly rate.
That's correct.
Which is then reflected in the dashboard.
Correct.
We don't have hourly.
Correct.
Like margins and stuff like that, which
is also a minefield because if you do a perm hire, right?
Yep.
It's very black and white. You do the perm hire, this is the fee, and then you have like a refund process. So it's like if the perm hire doesn't work out, you refund or you rebate or whatever you call it. Whereas with the contract, it's like this is the minefield that James and I have been playing with this week. Is you close the contract, but then like you have to have the ability to rack up the fee as the weeks go on, because some people are doing weekly, and then it's like, okay, you're charging weekly. Are they doing 5 days? They're doing 4 days. They're doing 3 days.
Yeah,
like
how just a day.
A day. What happens if they leave after 2 weeks? So there's all these complexities around figuring out. And then if you want an accurate report of how much your contractor has earned you, it's a fucking minefield basically.
Yeah,
but we're getting there.
Yeah, I'd agree.
I think it's going to go into testing on Friday, and then it will hopefully all going well.
Yeah, by the end of next week.
Yeah, and there's one agency that use the platform that are, I was going to say gagging for it. I don't know if that's the right word though. It's not. What do I want to say?
Oh God,
itching
for it.
They're very keen. Basically.
Well, they might be gagging for it.
All the right terminology, but they're really looking forward to us having it because they do temp chefs.
Oh right,
and I didn't even know it was a thing.
Yeah, well, there's a lot out there. Like
what, chefs?
No, like the thing, like not your mainstream areas.
Yeah,
as such.
Oh mate, I'm finding it fascinating because we talk to recruiters every week, and I came from a tech background with recruitment, right? So I did software development specifically, and when I was recruiting back in the day, which is a long time ago now, And like now we're speaking to people that, like say, do temp chefs or do funeral directors. I didn't even know the funeral.
Yeah, I wouldn't have even.
The funeral industry was something that people were recruiting in.
Real niche,
But yeah, the company that specialise in the chefing world, Christmas is obviously going to be mad for them. So they were like, if you can get it ready for December, that's going to be massive for us.
Nice.
So
it'd
fingers
be
crossed.
interesting to see what they think of it when we push it.
I hope so, because at the moment they're kind of, that was the one big thing for them, is like we don't have the ability to manage temps, and like you say, it's cropping up loads now. Maybe temp.
Yeah, even I've spoken to an agency this week and a few solo recruiters that have kind of said the same thing. A lot of them do both perm and
do they?
temp.
What
yeah.
Are they small businesses as well?
Yeah. I'd say so.
Do you know how
they're or some solo recruiters I've looked at have like wanted to get into temp,
right?
For whatever reason, whether that's the way the world's going, or you could
argue, because that's what some people have said to me, is that obviously we're called Giig, right? Because we're supporting the gig economy.
Yeah.
The gig economy is growing, so the gig economy is the small startup solo recruiter. That wants to work for themselves. I think more and more people want to do that, right? I think more and more people want to be their own boss. They want to manage their hours, work from anywhere, all those kind of things. There's definitely, like, they're all the benefits to working for yourself. There's definitely negatives as well, right? But if we go along the premise of recruiters wanting to work for themselves, then in the world of work, I guess you could say that the temp world is going to grow. Because it's
one of those things. There'll always be a room for perm and like a bit of both, but yeah, maybe that is where the world's heading.
Maybe we'll see, but it's again, like we said with the features, it's another thing that you would suspect that we would have in our arsenal, which we've not had, which is coming. But I think the new push is going to be good. I also let one of the recruiters know that is a paying user of our product. She specifically was asking for that job closing down thing.
Yeah,
the ability to close job down.
It's so easy to overlook, I guess, when you're developing all these features. But you'd think that's such it's just a no-brainer.
Yeah.
When someone mentions it, so yeah, I think they're 3 good additions.
Yeah, they are good,
and I think the temp stuff that's in the works will be good. There's a few things that I think over the next few months will be really good for moving the platform forward.
Yeah. Hopefully we're not slowing down over Christmas. We're charging into the festive period.
Yeah.
Speed of light. And that's kind of jogged something in my brain, that the recruiter that I said I reached out to say, hey, we've fixed that, or we kind of ability to close the jobs down there. She also had seen that I'm on a webinar with Kate O'Neill, so she requested to.
Oh, nice.
So that's coming up. That's going live.
Oh, I saw that.
That's live next week.
Next Wednesday?
I think so.
Next Wednesday, 12 o'clock, 12:30.
I don't know what the time
Something
is.
like that.
Yeah. But
tune in.
Do you know what? I genuinely shit myself when I saw my face, because I was like scrolling through LinkedIn yesterday. My face popped up. I was like, huh? And then I was like, what? And then I was like, oh yeah, that's next week.
That'll be good. That's a virtual podcast, right?
It's virtual. It's like a webinar. It's we talk, because Kate asked me what I wanted to talk about, and when I go on, well, this is the first say when I go on these things, I do it all the time. When Kate asked me to do it, she obviously asked me for a topic as well, and said kind of, what would you like to talk about? And I was giving it some thought, because what I don't want to do is just be like, plug Giig.
Yeah, correct.
I don't want to do one of these webinars that's just
thing.
like, oh, we're Giig, and this is the 5 tips of how to use a CRM. And oh, by the way, we build a CRM. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
For me, it was a bit like, I don't know what the word. It's a bit too obvious. It's probably
salesy, and you want to.
People aren't.
You want to give value
for sure,
and Giig is value, just FYI. But
it's free.
Yeah,
I don't know how.
Which actually, but carry on. But that's a good question.
Yeah,
we'll move on to.
But anyway, Kate said to me, what did I want to do? And I gave it some thought, and I was like, actually, what might be value adding for the audience is how to automate your back office. So what we're going to talk about is like how, as a solo recruiter or freelance recruiter, there's only one of you, right? And you want to spend as little time doing all the admin stuff and much time doing the phone stuff, so you can make as much money as possible.
Yeah,
right?
makes
or
sense.
Grow your business. Yeah. So it was like, if I could let's try and break down some ways that you can automate things, leverage your time as a solo recruiter. So that's what we're talking about. which I think will be good. And actually, what's going to be covered with Kate is going to be like such a surface level thing. But it got me thinking that if we do more in the future, or we could do our own mini series on it of how to automate your back office as a freelance recruiter.
Right. Okay.
We could do our own YouTube series on it where I actually break, because I talk about the surface level stuff.
Yeah.
But I could actually be like, look, these are the tools, and this is how you use them, and this is how you set stuff up.
I think that's a good idea.
Yeah. And the big topic was, do you automate your sales outreach? What would you say? What would your opinion be?
What's my opinion?
Yeah.
Well, I think this is probably what most people would say. However you do it, it needs to be personalised.
Right.
And automation can take that away, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
But if you can personalise it and automate it, great. But yeah, otherwise maybe don't automate it, I guess. Well, so it's time and personalised, right? It's that balance.
Yeah, it's a balance.
So,
because there's always going to be that. It's hard, isn't it? Because there's always going to be that person you'll put loads of time into writing something for, reaching out to. They're never going to engage, and so you go, oh, I'm not going to bother because people don't come back. I'll just go far and wide and try and catch someone. But actually, like if you can hit someone with a personalised approach, it's going to build a better relationship. I had one recently. A girl reached out to me. Do you know what? I can't even remember what she was selling now, but she'd connected with me.
Right.
She'd engaged on a couple of posts. When she messaged me, what was clever is because she commented on a couple of posts as well. Like she genuine comments, like getting involved. Like,
this is automation.
No.
Oh, right.
No.
Right.
What I'm saying is I'm giving you a good example.
Oh, okay.
Of like giving you a good example I've experienced of someone doing outreach. I'll find her name, shout her out, but she spent the time. She commented on some of my stuff first. She's seen it. She then sent me a connection. She then commented a bit more. She then sent me a message saying, "Hey, this is what I am and what I do." At the point, we're not ready to engage with what she's offering, but it's like one of the only ones I replied to.
Right, interesting.
Because I get so many, and if they're automated, I'm just like, nah, don't bother.
But then again, on the timepiece, if she'd put all that effort in, and whether I don't know how much time she put in, but if you put all that time in and then you just like, then.
But I will, like, as I said, I don't remember her name now, but if she popped up again in the future, I'd be more willing to engage with her because I kind of said to her, we're not in a position. So yeah, it is a timepiece, but I guess if you think about it, it's like your first outreach probably is never going to work, mate. Do you know what I mean? It might be the second, third, fourth, fifth.
Yeah.
You have to have more than one touch point. But what she's done with her outreach is she started a decent conversation, whereas if she messages me again in the future, I will reply. Whereas the person that just hits me with the automation, I'm never going to reply.
Yeah. Interesting.
But obviously, there's going to have to be more time because the time, like in sales, timing is important. She's got me at the wrong time, so I didn't engage. But if she'd have caught me at the right time, I would have been more open to it.
Yeah. Interesting. But yeah, I think that's a good. We could do an episode diving into that in more deep.
Diving into what automated outreach or automation the back office.
Back office.
I think it's a really good one.
Or any of them. Really,
we can do a series.
Yeah,
because there's like to give a little snippet. There's things you can do like if you use, for example, an AI note taker.
Yep.
Or if you don't, you can use an AI note taker, which automates the note taking on your calls. And then there's tools you can use to take those notes and automatically update them in your CRM. So all of a sudden, instead of writing notes manually and manually then writing them into your CRM, you've got a note taker taking them for you. And once they're done, you
just
can
shove it in there.
Shove it straight in there. So there's stuff like that you can do, which makes a no-brainer to automate. But I think people wouldn't know that. Personally, well, maybe not. I don't know. But that's definitely something we can talk about. I like that. The other thing that's happened in the gig world this week is you just don't pay attention, do you?
No, apparently not. Although my memory this week's been shocking. I don't know if it's because I'm ill.
You should have just taken the week off. You might as well.
I'll take next week off when I'm feeling better.
You're getting paid just to not do anything, sit and not remember. But no, was the comment that I sent you this morning. I thought that was worth bringing up.
The ATS.
Yeah.
It's
mad, isn't it? What do you do with stuff like that?
Well, I wondered if that was. You'll have to flash that up or something, or.
Yeah, I can do. So basically what happened was on our YouTube channel, someone has left a really bad comment about a system that isn't our system because the feature they're talking about we don't even have.
Yeah, and it was like a
rating system on
an ATS rating system by AI or something, is it?
Yeah. So basically, I think it's a disgruntled candidate. So firstly, candidates can't even use our system.
Yeah.
But it was a candidate that's put their CV into an ATS expecting it to help them improve the CV. So it said your rating is 48%. Do these changes.
So I wonder where he's put that then.
I don't know.
Unless there's another company out there, or he's just got confused. Or...
No clue. But he's then put the CV back in. It's rated at 68%, and then it said to him, "Oh, to get it to 100%, you have to pay us."
Yeah.
So he's really pissed off. He or she is really pissed off with that, and has then come to our YouTube channel and bagged me for it.
I can't believe you'd do that.
No, I'm horrible, man.
Yeah, well, that's. Wait, have you replied to it? You'll have
no,
to.
I should.
Yeah, and just say I think you got the wrong. But
do you know what I was going to say?
Go on.
Which system have you used out of interest? Because they don't they've commented on my stuff, but they haven't said which ATS they use.
Yeah,
so I just thought comment being like, "Oh, that sounds like a really bad experience." Out of interest,
what system is that done? Because
it doesn't sound like ours.
It's nothing. Yeah, we don't use that. I actually didn't know that was a thing with the like scoring system. That's only like been flagged up to me over the last 6 months, I'd say.
What
the ATS scoring system?
Yeah, it's definitely a thing. One guy.
Yeah, but I also think is it? Go on.
No, go on. You go.
Is it like a bit of laziness? I don't know. Maybe I'm a bit old-fashioned in like you put a good search together and you know your candidates you're representing.
Yeah, there's definitely an argument for that. The other argument is it's only as good as the data that's in it. So there might be a pucker candidate in there, right?
Yeah.
That if you did a search comes up and you're like, oh, we've not spoken to that candidate. I'm going to make shit up, but you've not spoken to that candidate in 5 years. They might now be the perfect candidate, but the ATS system is not going to pick them up because it's not going to see their CV.
Very valid. Yeah. Yeah, very valid.
So on one hand, I could say actually it could be a good time saver to be like, oh, maybe these are the first five I check. But you've got to go deeper because there could be a candidate that you've not touched base with for a couple of years that now is the right candidate.
Yeah, that makes sense. Just to kind of move on, I think we spoke about this before jumping on.
Yeah.
But one of the questions that comes up a lot with us at Giig is...
So you're going to do a little bit of a support chat question now?
Common support chats, whatever you want to call it.
Is the feature that everyone wants.
And nothing's free in the world, but why is Giig free?
Yeah,
obviously we have a free forever package that has the ability to store unlimited amount of candidates, CVs, data in there. It has some limited functions like CV part that you can't use CV parsing, but why do we have a free forever package?
Do you have an opinion, or do you just want me to go? Because I can.
I can't know the answer, but
what would you say the answer?
When it's asked to me, I say we support solo recruiters, startup recruiters, and appreciate, or however you want to say it, the
challenges,
the challenges that you or they face, and we're trying to build a product that gives as much value as possible, and when starting up, it's important to keep costs down.
Yeah.
And that helps. That's just like a nice place to store everything, gets you up and running. And then our attitude is a bit like, hopefully when the time's right, they'll see the value in some of our better packages, paid for packages. So how would you answer it?
Yeah, very similar. I would say like what you've given there is like a very, to the end user, it's nice, right? We want to give value upfront for free. That's ultimately what it is. Like from us as a business perspective, where we're a small company, giving a free forever version, to be brutally honest, it's a lead magnet. It's a loss leader because we've got limited marketing budget, as you can tell by the podcast. We've got a small team. So we're like, okay, we want to give value up front because we believe that giving value up front is going to start better relationships. It's like what we were saying about the outbound being personalized. If we go and give something to someone for free that they can genuinely use, that would hopefully build a better relationship than if we say, hey, come and pay us 120 quid a month, right? So that's part one. Then it becomes a lead magnet for us. So it actually helps us as a business because we're getting so many people come to the platform now saying, oh, I've been recommended this product, right? Because it's free. So it works as a lead magnet. I also think the other thing that's really valuable for both us and users is it gives people the ability to be able to try it for free.
Yeah, nice.
Our Trustpilot, we've got really good reviews on our Trustpilot at the moment. Go and check us out if you want to. One of the reasons I think is because we don't ask people to pay us until they're happy.
Nice.
So most other ATS systems will say, hey, sit on a demo. They'll show you all the bells and whistles. It will all look really good on a demo. You give them your money, you commit to 12 months, and you get in and you're like, this isn't for me. Not necessarily saying it's shit, but it just isn't for me, because people have different like preferences, right?
Yep.
Whereas with us, you come in on the free forever version. There's probably loads of people that have looked at it and gone, not for me, I'm out.
Which is fine.
Yeah. But the ones that go, it's for me, and then pay, they know what they're paying for.
Yeah.
So I think
and also we obviously don't lock them into 12-month contracts.
We don't lock them into 12-month contracts, no. But yeah, so the free element is like that. It's for us, it's a loss leader. It builds better relationships and it adds value to small businesses that we hope will then upgrade with us when the time is right. The other thing that I always talk about is like, what's the catch? So like people reach out and you go, there's a free forever system, what's the catch? What would your opinion be, or what do you say to people if they ask us?
I kind of highlight the reasons why we offer the free forever version.
Right, okay.
Is my
but
go-to.
You would say there's no kind of catch.
I was on a call with someone recently, and they were kind of like, why the free? Like, why, the free? And I said, do you know what? We get asked this a lot. Maybe we're idiots. Maybe we should just charge. And he was going, no. I think it's a great idea.
All of a sudden, like, changed. Yeah, why'd you give it away for free? Let's start charging. But for me, like with the cat, because I do get it. Like, there's what's the saying? You'll know. We've already spoken on this podcast. You're good at sayings. No such thing as a free lunch, or Andy would say.
I don't know. I don't know where my brain would go. But.
Yeah. But yeah, I get it. They're like, obviously, we have to make money as a business, right? You can't shy away from that. And there is no such thing as a free lunch, I suppose. But what I would say to people when they say, what's the catch? I just say on the free, like, we limit access to premium features.
Yeah.
That's what I would say. Like, there's a lot of ATSs out there that will say, oh, it's a 2-week trial. It's a free version for 2 weeks, or you get limited amount of data. But with us, we're like, nah, use it as much as you want. Put as much data on there as you want. Like,
make sure it's right for you.
Make sure it's right for you. Fill your boots. But the catch is, in my opinion, which I think is a small catch.
Yep.
The premium features like the Chrome extension, the ability to send to job boards, the ability to do mass emails, all that kind of stuff, that is only available on the paid for products, which you can subscribe to, or you don't have to. Completely your decision. So that's what I would say is the catch.
Yeah.
Which I think is fair.
Yeah, I do. I think it's very fair.
I think it's really fair. And I think like for us, it's been a slow burner, right? Like, it's because we spent a long time building a free product. So actually, do you know what? Like, people say software development is upfront. We've spent £100,000, maybe more, if you think of the wages. More than £100,000.
Yeah.
Right? We've spent more than £100,000 putting together a free product that people can use for free, that we don't charge for. So, like, obviously we've lost money in that time. It's been it's a long-term play, but I would say now we're starting to see it turn a little bit better for us.
Yeah, I'd agree.
That's a good roundup. I like it.
Yeah.
So
happy days.
We were going to talk about. We said we wouldn't plug the podcast, and we've done is answer the question: what is free? I think that's kind of fair. Am I still in the camera shot?
Yeah, you are. Do you know what? I was sat there then thinking, imagine if we'd just done a whole hour,
and he's not in it,
and you're not in it, or I didn't even click start.
Have you done?
Well, there's an option to pause it, so
nice. Well, all I was going to say to round it up was next week we just need to turn off the notifications because we've been doing my fucking head in.
Yeah, hopefully that won't. It shouldn't pick up.
That will
on these.
Yeah, I'd have thought so, mate. Proper podcast mics.
Yeah, well, that's what you get with low budget, inexperienced podcasters.
Nice.
But yeah, I think that was good. And then next week we can go into there's loads of options, but maybe we plan that one. We actually plan that one better.
Nice.
Because really, what have we got from this?
What do you mean? What have we got from
it? We've probably waffled a lot.
Yeah. Oh, mate, the majority of this bit we're talking now, I'm probably going to cut.
Yeah.
This last 2 minutes.
See you next week.
Oh, dear. Very good. Time flies when you're having fun. My notifications be pinging.
Oh, really? Pause it?
Yep.
That looks like we filmed it. That was alright.